Hi, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your December 2021 new moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. How will Scorpio be affected by the December 2021 new moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Wheel of Fortune, which means this is going to bring a lot of change to us. And we have the moon. So the moon is going to bring us a lot of change, which is very clear from an astrological standpoint when we start to talk about the astrology of this. Now, the moon also represents Pisces energy. So if we have Pisces within our natal chart or within our lives, they're going to come through very strongly at our root. So we're going to be affected more by Pisces than we realize. So just be aware of that. In our inner self, we have the 10 of Pentacles, which is beautiful. That's prosperity and success and bounty. And then we have the Knight of Wands, which is fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It connects us with this new moon in Sagittarius. Also, if we're born on the cusp with Sagittarius, this is going to come out even more strongly during this time. Then we have our emotional self. We have the 8 of Wands. Everything starts moving quickly. And we have the Ace of Cups, a cleansing of the heart, a real sense of just an emotional release. Then we have the public arena. We have the Knight of Swords, which is air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So if we're born on the cusp with Libra, this part of our personality comes through very powerfully. If we have air sign energy within our chart, it comes through very powerfully in the public arena. But we're going to see ourselves moving forward. We're going to see ourselves cutting through a lot of things that have been keeping us held back in the past. Then we have the King of Pentacles, earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. If we have earth sign energy within our natal chart or within our lives coming through very powerfully in the public arena. But I see this more as a sense of I've set this up for so long, like I've been waiting for this to grow into what it's becoming. And this is going to be a time where we actually see things starting to align in a way that gets us excited. So let's look at the energy we need to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. It's the King of Cups. So we're represented by the cups in the minor arcana. We're represented by the death card in the major arcana. So what we have here is just a warning to be mindful of getting in our own way. This is also going to be a time where there's going to be people who emotionally manipulate us, or who emotionally kind of attack. They attack with emotions first, and then they'll do everything else second. So just be aware of this. This person has a booming voice, or has just a way of, like, it resonates in our bones. And I don't know what it is about their voice or about them here that resonates within our bones, but not in a good way. So just be mindful of this. Then we have our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. We have psychic development. Now, this is the third eye chakra, so we're going to be seeing things much more intensely during this time. There's a sense of our third eye opening, and it's developing us psychically. It's developing us intuitively. This is going to be a time where we need to listen. We need to listen to the voice in our soul, or the voice inside of our head that says, do this, don't do that. Like, pay attention here. Don't pay so much attention there, type of thing. So we're really embracing this energy, and we're really seeing how it moves us forward. We're also going to be seeing things so much more clearly, and just needing to step back and really connect with our own psychic holistic self. This sense of, I know more than I realize, and I'm connected in a way that maybe at times I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of being disconnected, or I'm afraid of what's coming my way that I get to be privy of, because I'm standing in myself right now without the world distracting me. So let's talk about this time astrologically. On the 4th of December, we have the new moon in Sagittarius, which is also a full and only solar eclipse in 2021. So it's the only full solar eclipse in 2021. The solar eclipse amplifies the power of the new moon because the moon darkens the sun. And the new moon is in Sagittarius, which has here saying luck is on our side. We're taking aim at what we want. And the most important aspect of astrology is the sun conjunct the moon. So this gives us a burst of energy and initiative. This brings us emotional balance, which helps us to see why we want to move forward in a certain way, or how we want to move forward in a certain way on this new moon. Again, amplified by the solar eclipse, it has us seeing the path that we want more clearly, with more clearly and more exactly for ourselves, how we move forward, what it is that we want, how we unjumble, our heads and ourselves, which is excellent for the end of 2021 and the beginning of 2022. Remember also that 2022 is the angel number 222, which is the number of new beginnings, which is terribly exciting. This is a time for a fresh start and a new outlook. This also connects us with the South Lunar Node, because around this time, the South Lunar Node goes into retrograde into Scorpio. So this is going to hit us more than it's going to hit other people, because this is the first time it does this in 18 years, which is the time that it takes for the lunar nodes to go through the zodiac. The South Lunar Node is the place of memories. It is the place of where our energy is drained from our lives, and it is the place of our karmic destiny. We're going to find here that this is also known, we're going to see that this is also known as the tail of the dragon. The North Lunar Node is known as the head of the dragon. So we have here the tail of the dragon sweeping the karmic debris in our lives. It's sweeping it up. It's letting us look at and see the karmic theme of our lives and what's been holding us back. What's been the detour, or the thing that we always kind of stumble over during our progression forward. And we're going to be saying to ourselves here, it's like, no more. I'm done with this. And this is going to be more powerful for us, Scorpio, again, than it is going to be for others, because as it comes into Scorpio, as the South Lunar Node goes into retrograde in Scorpio, okay, it feeds off the power of Pluto, because we are ruled by Pluto. And Pluto is connected with the soul. And here we have the reincarnation of our soul and being and beginning to align with the energy that we need in our lives and expelling what we no longer need. So this is going to be a tremendously intense time for us. This is going to be a time where the moon just hits us like nothing else. And it's going to be a time where we are purging away what we no longer need, where we don't want to be. We're connecting with the soul. We are the soul, which is something that people don't think of when they think of Scorpio. Scorpios can kind of get the side eye, along with Geminis and, Capricorns too, that it's like, ooh, oh, these people are trouble type of thing. And it's not that we're trouble, it's that we're the soul of things. We are more intense than people are ready for. And there's a beauty to our intensity. There's a brilliance to us if we let ourselves fully embrace it. And we might not be for everybody, but nobody in this world is for everybody. So we have to embrace that, we have to understand that, and we have to connect with us. Now, the new moon is also going to be conjunct Mercury, which puts our thinking, our communication, and our short distance travel into focus. We are alert, we are quick thinking, we are adaptable, and we are curious. This is a great time for buying and selling. We are very good at it. We're also going to be very good at negotiations and being social. Now, we also have the new moon sextile Uranus, which is going to throw us off our game a little bit. So be prepared for that. It makes us nervous, it makes us tense, it makes us anxious because we feel like a change is coming forward for us. It's on the horizon. We can feel it. We just don't know how it's going to move forward. It can be change or it can be drama. And what we're going to find is that it makes it hard for us to relax because, again, it's at our root right here. It's just a sense of things are changing. And there's going to be a buildup of energy within us that, again, makes us anxious, makes us feel off our game, makes us question a lot of things. Now, the new moon sextile Saturn is going to go a really long way to calming down the new moon sextile Uranus because this is a very big grounding influence for us. It reduces the anxiety of Uranus, and it aligns us with caution, patience, perseverance, and a strong sense of responsibility. We are able to set our goals and get the job done. We need to be mindful, though, during this time of being kind to ourselves and being kind to people around us, because Saturn can be a huge overachiever and just think, you know what, if you messed up, it was your fault. You have to keep on pushing forward. You have to keep on pushing forward, and there's no excuse. So here we just, again, have to remember to be kind. Saturn squared Uranus can bring a change that we don't want into our lives, and it can also bring setbacks. So this is going to be a time that's a little bit complicated, yet it's connecting us again with that karmic theme with the South Lunar Node that again is going into retrograde in Scorpio. So it's going to be really powerful here. There's something that's happening that we need to keep an open mind with. We're going to think, oh my gosh, like I already know all of this. Yet if we keep an open mind, if we're patient with ourselves and the people around us, if we're flexible, this will be a time when changes turn into opportunities to rid us of negativity. Whatever change is coming forward that we don't want, whatever setbacks are coming forward, we're going to have preconceived notions. We're going to have conclusions, excuse me, already made and think, okay, it's just a disaster. And yet if we keep a level head about us, we're going to find that it really purges away a lot. Now, the eclipse aspect pattern is called the large learning triangle. This is the pattern that the eclipse makes. And this represents a crisis mechanism that results in profound learning and development. This triangle consists of the conflict, which is Saturn squared Uranus, which brings that setback, which brings the drama into our lives. Then it is the striving for the solution, which is the new moon quincus Uranus, and the harmonizing aspect, which is the new moon sextile Saturn. So the striving for the solution is the anxiety. It's knowing that the change is on the horizon, knowing that bigger things are coming, or knowing that this change can bring drama, this change makes us anxious and nervous. We don't really feel as prepared as we want to be. And so we start to look at things in a different way. We strive for the solution. We can almost feel like giving up during this time. So be aware of that coming in and making us think, oh, I'm just going to stop. And sleeping all day sounds like a great idea. Don't do it. Don't fall prey to that. Harmonizing aspect with the new moon Sextile Saturn has us determined, has us focused, has us grounded. Remember, it can be just a little bit too intense. So remember to be kind to yourself and to people around us. Now, we also have the fixed stars during this time. And one of the fixed stars, the first fixed star that we'll be talking about, is the fixed star Alwade. Now, Alwade is within the constellation of Draco, which means dragon. So it connects us again to the south lunar node, which is going to be very powerful. Now, the fixed star Alwade is not the best star in the sky. It just isn't. It was known by ancient astrologers as the nebulous star of the dragon's eye. And in Arabic, it means who's to be betrayed. So the nebulous star of the dragon's eye means we don't see things clearly. The dragon isn't seeing things clearly. And what it's going to do is it's going to make us have preconceived notions about things without really seeing the whole situation before us. So be aware of this. The star is aligned with the power of Mars and the power of Saturn, making it bold, which is great, but it also makes it cruel and heartless and criminal and violent. So we really have to look at this and say, I'm not going to act hastily. We're going to want to a bit. We have the Knight of Swords here, which if we let it get ahead of us means that we act very reactively to everything. But if we step back, if we understand that the first way that we see things is not necessarily going to be the right way, and we have to kind of ruminate, meditate, connect with thoughts more, we're going to find that it can ground us better. It can help us work past illusions and delusions. So that's going to be really important. We also have the fixed star Antares. Now, Antares is the star at the heart of the constellation of Scorpio. All of these are hitting us rather hard. And again, this isn't our favorite star here. It is known by the ancient Greeks as the anti-Eris, or the rival to Mars, because its color could be mistaken for Mars in the sky. So it has this red-green color to it, and you could mistake it for Mars. Now, Anti-Eris is of the nature of Mars and of Jupiter, making it commanding, which is great, prideful, not so great, malevolent, again, not great, destructive, not good, broad-minded, which is good, rash, which we have to be mindful of, and again, headstrong. So, and again, destructive. It makes it so that it wants to tear things apart. Now, what we're going to find here is that if we follow this star, if we follow these impulses towards pridefulness, towards, negativity and malevolence and destruction and, and rashness and headstrongness, what we're going to find is that we are led by the wrong general. So Mars is the god of war. Mars is the one who sees and who aligns things. The anti-Mars, the anti-Eris, the rival to Mars is the one who doesn't have the same vision, isn't the god of war, and thinks that they have all the right answers. So we have to be very mindful of this. The Wheel of Fortune is at our root. Everything starts to change. This is going to be a time where we can feel like we're on a roller coaster ride, where everything is moving and pushing and moving us forward in a way that we're not really comfortable with. And yet that's astrologically the theme of this time, where we're being pushed in a direction that we're not always going to think is the best direction for us, and yet Spirit has a bigger plan. So this is going to be a time where we kind of need to step back and we need to step into ourselves. We also need to know that it's the close of one season, it's the beginning of another. We have the repeat of the number 10, meaning that we've come to a completion of a cycle. We might not be ready for that cycle to be completed, and yet Spirit is ready for it to be completed for us. This moon has us seeing things so differently. It has us looking at our fears and our doubts and our chaos. It has us looking at what overwhelms us. It has us questioning. It has us really pushing forward in a very real way. But as it brings our fears forward, it also brings us forward. It brings us more into the moment. It brings us more into our reality. It brings us more into the mindset of what we want and where we're headed, and the bigger desires that we have within our lives. And that brings us to the 10 of Pentacles. It brings us in our inner self to a place of wealth, to a place of prosperity, to a place of generational blessings instead of generational curses. We tend to talk a lot as human beings as generational curses, like, oh my gosh, this was the bad luck of my parents and now I have it. And we even talk about things kind of like the sins of the father handed down to the son. It's like, this is what we were raised with knowing, and this is what I get now. And so here with the 10 of Pentacles, we're going to start to see the blessings that are around us. It can be the blessings that we get from our parents, our guardians. It can be the blessings that we get from the completion of understanding some aspect about our financial well-being or our financial situation, where it's like, oh, this is a realization. It's like, oh, this happened and this is going to help propel me forward. It's like, okay, I jumped that hurdle and now I'm able to move forward in so much more authority of myself and so much more prosperity than I ever thought I could have. And it brings us to the Knight of Wands. This moon is going to have us kind of looking back a lot. We're going to be looking at different aspects of things. We're going to be looking at, the chaos that we've been through. We're going to be looking at our passions and our desires. And for some reason, it's going to have us turning around and being like, oh, this all happened, before. This is all coming from the past. And yet Spirit is saying, no, it's coming from the present. Like, I have to be in the here and in the now. And as I embrace this presence within myself, I embrace the way that I can move forward in passion and in creativity. So we have to remember to face forward. We have to remember during this time not to be stuck in the past, but to embrace the present with gusto, because everything is changing. I mean, we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is tremendous change. It's also fate coming in. It's things moving forward in a way that we might not feel like we have control over. But the Eight of Wands is like, ready or not, here it comes. And we're going to have to take a moment to kind of take it all in, to center ourselves, to decide what we want, to decide what we're looking for. And then it's like, okay, I'm ready. I'm going with it. I have to move with this. I have to move forward this way. And it brings us to the Ace of Cups. It brings us to God's Source Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, handing us a gift of healing, beautiful love. It washes over us. It centers us. It's a sense here of this being an emotional time for us. Our hearts are hit. And we're going to think, I'm just going to power through it. I'm not going to let these emotions show. And yet, as a water sign energy, we have to. We have to embrace the heart of it. We have to embrace what we desire. We have to embrace these connections. Because if we don't, we negate so much of ourselves. So the Ace of Cups comes in, and it's like everything that has been dormant is pushed forward. Everything is a bit more intense than we had realized it was going to be. And as it's more intense, we can find ourselves crying more easily. We can find ourselves connecting with people more easily. We can also find ourselves connecting with ourselves easier. And this brings us to the Knight of Swords. This brings us to the place where we push forward. We go after what we want. It's spontaneity, yes, but it's also a sense of, I'm slaying the dragons that have held me back. I'm slaying the things that have been kept from me because I didn't feel like I was worthy, or because of one setback after another that had me start to doubt that I could even live in prosperity. Maybe not consciously, but subconsciously. This could be handed down from generation to generation. This could be something that we've dealt with through our past lives, and because we're having our karmic theme come up, it's like, no more. I'm done with this. I'm done with this, and I get to move forward in the power that is me. I get to see what I want, and I get to embrace my world. I get to open up the door in a very real way, in a very powerful way. And so the Knight of Swords comes in, and we're cutting through so much nonsense. We're cutting through the poison of our world. We're cutting through, the demons, the dragons that are trying to hold back our blessings and our gifts. We're ascending. The realization of ourselves is bringing us to a higher vibrational level, and we're awakening a part of us that has been dormant for so long, that has been ignored, and that we didn't think we got to connect with anymore. And it brings us to the King of Pentacles. It brings us to prosperity and success. It brings us to a mentor. It brings us to a connection with our spirit guides and our angels that can mentor us forward. But it also brings us to some sort of epiphany, some sort of realization that starts to open up the doors in a way that we just didn't think possible. We thought things were headed in one direction. And we're going to be very surprised with the way this pushes us forward. This is the planting of seeds. This is the connection with what we want and desire and have been looking for. And this becomes the game changer. This is the game-changing time. And we are the King of Pentacles. We are the highest in the minor arcana of our success, of our bounty. We're starting to see how everything is interconnected, how how it builds on top of each other, and that inspires us. We are starting to be inspired again, which is fantastic. It moves us to the moon's message for us during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. At our root, the moon is saying the answers you need are coming, and it is beautiful. It brings beauty. The answers bring beauty. Are we ready to let that beauty in? Are we ready to let ourselves move forward in a way that we hadn't expected? Are we even going to be aware of this beauty? Or are we looking at the card and not seeing the face hidden within the nature? Not seeing the beauty that is coming forward, the eye, the mouth, the nose, the shape of the face, right here, the outline. It brings us to our inner self, and it says, show the world the real you. Darkness. Through the darkness of this solar eclipse, through the darkness of this new moon, we show the world who we truly are. We're starting to see what we truly love, and we're bringing it forward. It doesn't come from the past. It comes from the embrace of the prosperity of the present. Even if things look overwhelming, even if we're not sure how to embrace that prosperity, or what that prosperity actually is. It brings us to the lunar message for our emotional selves. It's the new moon in Aquarius. So we have the full moon in Aquarius here. Now we have the new moon. And so Aquarius energy is going to be very powerful for us. It says, bring love into the situation, which is what the Ace of Cups is telling us, extremes. The changes that we're going through are extremes. Everything that we're living through is extreme. Bring love into the situation and see where it takes us. It brings us to the public arena, which is the full moon in Scorpio. It's our beautiful self coming forward. And it says here, it's time to release negativity, peace, and that will bring us peace. As we release the negativity that has been held onto for way too long, we find the peace within ourselves. We find the power within ourselves, and it becomes a game changer. Our subconscious lunar message is us again, the Scorpio new moon. It says, work through your fears. And it brings us to boundaries. Work through the fears and have healthy boundaries set up. Do not let people take and take and take. Do not let things into our lives that make us feel uncomfortable, that aren't right for us. Just because we think everybody's doing it, we're going to think, oh, I have to move forward this certain way. And Spirit's saying, no. Release the fears, work through the fears, and set up really good boundaries. You know, it's kind of like, what is it? Good fences make good neighbors. It's that sort of mentality. Then we have our subconscious energy, subconscious energy to be mindful of. And it's the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is going to be a blessing for us, but we also have to be mindful of getting kind of like too business minded, being too good at releasing the heart from things and just making it all about the bottom line. So be very mindful of this. It moves us to our subconscious chakra energy, which is nurturing. This is the Earth Star chakra located 6 inches below our feet. We need to nurture what we love, what we desire from our lives, and the passion that we have. It brings us to our subconscious rooted self, which is justice, Libra energy. It's being just within ourselves and to ourselves. It's understanding the energy that we need to let in, but it's also understanding the energy we need to let go. It's looking at things and saying, I can be just to everyone and everything and forget about me. Or I can remember me and be just to who I am and what is right for my soul, myself, and my happiness here on earth. It moves us to our subconscious inner self, and it's the Knight of Pentacles. It's slowly and steadily moving forward in prosperity, in bounty, and in success. It is laying down solid foundation, and it is building something that lasts a heck of a long time. It brings us to our subconscious emotional self, and that's the High Priestess. The veil is being lifted from our eyes. We're seeing things so much more openly and honestly than we have ever seen it before, and this becomes a game changer. We're not fooled by the masks that everybody wears. And you know what? Quite frankly, Scorpio, we're not very good at being fooled by the masks of others. That's what can make people feel so uncomfortable. So here we're seeing, and we're embracing what we are seeing. And we're saying, this is the way that I need to move forward. This is the passion that I have. This is the desire that I need. And this is the game-changing time. It brings us to our subconscious public arena self. And it's the Two of Pentacles. It is abundance, but it is also knowing that I cannot embrace the abundance if I do not embrace the balance of myself. It is understanding that we are trying to balance everything for everyone, for ourselves, spreading ourselves too thin, and we need to keep our feet firmly planted on the ground and see what we want and move things forward towards that success. All right, Scorpio, I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. So let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the prosperity and the intensity of this new moon and solar eclipse. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Scorpio, and may you have a blessed moon.